Okay, let's dive into this. Look, I'm going to talk to you today, not just as the guy hosting this explainer, but really like an older brother who genuinely cares about you. We're going to break down the cold, hard, unglamorous reality of success, failure, and frankly, the absolutely ridiculous amount of time we waste complaining about our lives. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, right? Our generation is uniquely, unbelievably gifted at wanting everything yesterday. We want the massive mansion, we want the picture perfect life, the absolute peak physical health, and we want it all delivered on Amazon Prime with same day shipping. And hey, preferably completely assembled out of the box, too, right? But come on, life just doesn't work like that. It never has. Let's just take a step back and look at the absolute absurdity of how we're actually approaching our goals right now.
Section 1. Don't dig up the seed weekly.
I want you to imagine this scenario for a second. You walk out into your backyard, right? You dig a little hole, you plant an apple seed. You water it, carefully pat the dirt down. Then, next Friday, you march right back out there with a shovel, aggressively dig it up, and literally scream at the seed, "Why aren't you an apple tree yet?" You wouldn't do that. It sounds completely insane, doesn't it? But look at the sheer hilarious irony of our daily expectations here. We literally sleep through 1/3 of our entire earthly existence. A whole third. We fiercely protect our weekends, we absolutely demand our holidays, we need our mental health days, and we will happily binge watch entire 8-season shows in a single sitting without even blinking. Yet despite taking all this time off to chill, we turn around and demand overnight life-changing success from the tiny microscopic fraction of time we actually spend working. We somehow think we have the right to sit back, kick our feet up, give ourselves all these comfortable options, while time, our most valuable asset, is just constantly running out. So the crucial point is that 90-day mark. You see, most people completely abandon their goals right around month 3 or month 6. And why? Well, it's not because their plan was necessarily bad. It's not because they lacked the potential or the talent. It's simply because it didn't show massive, explosive, viral results in the first 90 days. We hit the gym exactly twice. We eat one single bowl of plain lettuce, and we get genuinely angry that we aren't fitness models yet. We are biologically wired right now, thanks to our phones, to expect instant, to-the-second feedback. But you have to understand, some of the greatest success stories simmer quietly in the dark for years, and then they explode all at once. If you quit at day 90 just because you didn't see the fruit, you completely starved the root that was literally just about to break through the soil.
Now, I really want you to internalize this next concept. Let it really sink in. If God keeps waking you up in the morning, He still has a plan for you. Every single morning you open your eyes, take a breath, and get out of bed, it is a direct, literal sign from Al-Wahhab, the giver, that your purpose on this earth is not finished yet. You're still here for a reason. God didn't wake you up today just so you could whine about how hard things are or complain on the internet that your iced coffee was a little too cold. I mean, think about it. You have survived 100% of your worst days so far. Every single trial, every tribulation, every time you thought you couldn't make it, you pushed it aside and you survived. So let's stop the complaining, get out of bed, and actually get to work.
Section 2, the trap of comparisons and fake algorithms.
I know exactly why we constantly feel like massive failures, even when we are genuinely trying our absolute best. It all comes down to the most toxic habit of the modern age. We are completely hopelessly obsessed with this pimp my ride lifestyle. We see people online with the absolute perfect cars, the stunning vacations, the impossibly white teeth, all of it layered under 5 different fake filters to completely hide the fact that they are just as stressed out and lost as you are. And what do? We unfairly compare our gritty, sweaty, exhausted, messy behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's highly edited CGI movie trailer. We want all the riches and all the glamour using a few small hacks. We only want to be seen for our best, highly curated bits. But let me tell you, my friend, as an absolute fact, not everything that glitters is gold. In fact, half of the stuff you're envying right now, it literally doesn't even exist. It's a rental. And you know, when we make those unfair, heavily filtered comparisons, it breeds the absolute worst emotion a human being can possibly harbor: self-pity. Listen to me. Self-pity is the most destructive vice you can possess. Period. Why? Because it acts like a virus. It destroys everything around it: your relationships, your drive, your career opportunities, everything except itself. It fulfills its own miserable prophecies. You sit there sulking, thinking, "Oh, I'm just unlucky, the world is totally unfair, nobody appreciates my genius, the algorithm hates me." And by doing that, you guarantee with absolute certainty that you will remain exactly where you are. So stop feeling sorry for yourself. It is a totally dead-end road, and frankly, it's exhausting for everyone around you.
Section 3, failure, the skilled surgeon's tool. We need a massive perspective shift right here on how we view our setbacks.
And this brilliantly illustrates the beautiful concept of husnat dhan billah, having good, positive expectations of God, even when your face is literally pushed into the mud. Because when things go wrong, and believe me, they absolutely will go wrong, you have to understand that the pain is deeply purposeful. Think of failure like a scalpel, okay? In the hands of an amateur, someone who doesn't know what they're doing, a scalpel can do unbelievable, horrific damage. But in the hands of a skilled, highly trained surgeon, that exact same piece of metal is a life-saving tool. It carefully cuts away the disease. Failure is the exact same thing. Most people let failure just hack them to pieces and completely destroy their confidence. But if you use it like a surgeon, failure cuts away your weakness, it slices off your fragile ego, and it systematically builds the resilient character you desperately need to reach the next level.
You see, you are standing at the edge of life right now, watching everyone else out there supposedly flying around. But eventually, you have to take the leap yourself. And look, only 3 things can happen here. You jump and you fly, you jump and you fall on something soft, or you fall down incredibly hard. But either way, gravity works, right? And you learn how to get back up. You already have exactly what it takes to survive the fall. Your greatest fear in life shouldn't be falling down or getting a few bruises. No way. Your absolute greatest, most terrifying fear should be dying before the world ever sees who you really are, before you ever actually tap into your true potential.
Section 4. Hidden battles behind smiles.
I want to completely pivot here for a second because there is a middle reality to this journey that almost no one ever talks about. Think about this analogy with me. When we drive down the highway and we see a bright yellow baby on board sign on the back of a car, what do we instinctively do? We slow down, we give them some space, we're a little more patient if they brake suddenly because we visually know there's a vulnerable person inside that car. But out here in the real world, people don't wear neon signs for their invisible pain. You don't see a physical sign stamped on someone's forehead that says, "Hey, I'm deeply depressed today," or "I'm going through a devastating, messy divorce," or "I feel completely, utterly lost." If we could visually see what the people around us were actually going through inside their minds, man, we would be so much kinder to them.
The tragic reality is that success does not magically immunize you from human suffering. We've seen it over and over and over again in the news, right? Look at these massive stars, people like Avicii or Robin Williams. They had absolutely everything society tells us we need to chase. Endless money, global fame, world travel, millions of adoring fans screaming their names. But for some of them, that giant beaming smile, that brilliant legendary comedy, was just the thickest, heaviest wall they could build to hide their immense internal darkness. Pain, sadness, and depression, they simply do not discriminate based on the size of your bank account or your Instagram follower count.
So here is the major plot twist of this whole explainer. Lean in for this one. The people whose wealth and glamour you are obsessively chasing right now, they are often fighting battles behind closed doors that are so painful, so exhausting, they are sitting in their mansions desperately wishing they were someone else too. Never, ever make the rookie mistake of thinking someone else's life is the ultimate, magical answer to your personal happiness. Be deeply, profoundly grateful for the life, the health, and the breath you have in your lungs right now.
Section 5. Building oneself brick by brick.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual plan. Because knowing all this theory is great, but what do we actually do tomorrow morning? We have to move from deep realization to disciplined execution. Here is a real, tangible methodology for your life. Step 1. Gain true, brutal self-awareness. You need to figure out what actually connects to you in a deep, meaningful way. Not just what your parents expected of you, or what society demands, or what some shiny influencer told you to do. Step 2. Stop the self-pity and the endless excuses. Just drop them, completely, today. Throw them in the trash. Step 3. Endure the unglamorous, grueling, but ultimately beautiful day-to-day work. Listen, you aren't meant to be great today. We all literally start out as a helpless lump of flesh, incapable of doing anything more than crying. You are meant to be terrible at first, and then you grind it out until you become capable. You build yourself brick by boring, heavy brick. To do this, you have to completely rewrite the core question echoing in your head. Most people walk around every day asking themselves, what's the absolute least I can do to just look successful? How can I fake it the fastest so people clap for me? Instead, the greats, the ones who actually actualize their potential and change the world, they ask a totally different question. They ask, what is the absolute most suffering and backbreaking work I can physically bear in order to actually become something extraordinary? Do you see the difference? It's not about convincing people you're cool. It's about adapting to immense pressure and learning how to carry a really heavy load without snapping in half. Welcome to your arena. Here is the brutal, honest truth about stepping into it. The struggle? It's completely guaranteed. The pain is a feature, not a bug. Success? Not guaranteed at all. But listen to me carefully. You are internally equipped for this exact battle. You have the will, you have the faith, and you have all those painful past experiences to pull strength from. And remember this incredibly beautiful truth. God does not put you into an arena without accompanying you into it. He doesn't just throw you in the ring, lock the door, and abandon you. No, the opportunity wouldn't even be sitting in front of you if you weren't already perfectly equipped to face it head on.
I want to leave you with the ultimate, terrifyingly beautiful motivation. Close your eyes for a second and imagine reaching the very end of your life. You are standing before your creator. And in that defining moment, you are shown a crystal clear vision of the person you could have become, the ultimate, fully realized, brave, disciplined, world-changing version of you. Then, you contrast that magnificent image with who you actually chose to be, with the precious time you were given. Let the immense, crushing disappointment of that potential gap drive you today. Fight with absolutely everything you have right now so that gap does not exist when your time finally comes.
I want you to burn this single, defining question into your mind. Take a mental screenshot right now. Every single night before you close your eyes, before you drift off and sleep away yet another fraction of your life, I want you to ask yourself this one terrifying question. Did I give it my absolute all today? Did I leave everything on the field, or did I hold back because I was scared? Because if your life becomes a series of days where you can look in the mirror and honestly answer, yes, I did, then my friend, you have already won. Now get out there, stop making excuses, and go build yourself brick by brick.